unless you take it to the Lord and you leave it there. Your issue may not be blood. Whatever it is like this woman's problem. It will drain the life out of you. It diminishes your sparkle, your energy, your enthusiasm for living. You're going to a corner. I ain't going to church no more. I ain't going by my mama's house no more. I got to go to work so I got to pay bills. But I'm going to be in my own little cubicle. I ain't talking to nobody. It isn't money. It isn't the children. It could be your money. It could be your children. It could be your marriage. If it's not that, you say, but I can't relate. I don't have kids. I ain't married. But you have something that you can relate to. Your issue may be a need. A need to touch Jesus for salvation. It may be a need to touch Him for healing in your body. I don't know what your issue is. But I do know this. Every woman and man have one. Like Bishop always say, that's my dad, I just be laughing when he said, you're not exempted, but you're not exempt. We are not exempt in this life. Turn to your neighbor. Look your neighbor in the eye and say, I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. What your issue may be. But God is a healer. Come go with me to Mark 5:25. And my topic on today is go get my life back. When I say my, put your name. Say go get Monica life back. Because issue can weigh you down. Oh God. But I'm going to get my life back. When I leave this building on today, I'm going to have my joy, my peace. Because I'm going to get my life back. I've been studying. I said they done heard about the issue of blood many years. But when you put your situation in that woman's situation, you can understand it a little bit better. We're going to get our life back. But the devil took from us. I ain't said we're going to the camp and get it. But we're going to touch the hem of his garment. And we're going to get our life back. Come on, let's go to the word. Glory be to God. You don't know my story. You'll never understand my praise. The devil thought he had me. Oh, Lord. But I got away. So I got to go get my life back. Glory be to God. Come on. Mark 5:25.
And the word says, and a certain woman, which had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing better, but rather that grew worse. When she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind, and touched his garment. For she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned him about in the press and said, who touched my clothes? And his disciples said unto him, thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and said, thou who touched me? And he looked around about to see her and had done this thing. But the woman feared and trembled, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him and told him all the truth. And he said unto her, daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace and be whole of thy place.
Put your hands together for the word. Amen. We're going to start off talking about the lady with the issues of the Syrian woman, and we all know that Jesus was a Jew, and he wasn't allowed to talk to these people. Like Pastor Carl said the other night at the teaching, that I want to get it right. You say he didn't come here for us. We're Gentiles. He didn't come here for us, but we was drafted in. So that's a good thing to know that we was drafted in and Jesus can. He's there for us. Even though we weren't a Jew, and neither was this woman. And this woman suffered with this problem for 4,383 days of her life. She bore emotional and physiological baggage of being unclean and untouched. She spent all she had on her doctors. She had a hemorrhaging flow of blood. But this woman had faith. She knew that she had faith that if she would just see Jesus, that she would be healed. And I was reading about this being unclean, and it tells you that an unclean woman has, you know how we have this flow of blood between 3 to 5 days, and you know how we go through this cycle thing. And this woman had it for 12 years, and she couldn't touch nothing. She couldn't go around people. Whatever she sat down on was considered unclean. Whatever she laid down on was considered unclean. Even if the woman, if she was married, think about you. If I'm married and I have this issue of blood, you can't even be intimate with your husband. You can't even shake your husband's hand or give your husband a hug because he will become unclean because of what you had. So this woman, she was really, really miserable, you know, for 12 years of her life. Not knowing where this disease came from, even though the doctors felt like they could fix her problem, gave her their remedy, and told her to go home and everything was going to be okay. But it just did not work for her. But she knew that if she had faith that in God, that she would be healed. And she felt like, you know, she had done all that she can do. And sometimes we feel like we have done all that we can really do. We done prayed about it, we done fasted about it, and the situation just don't be fixed right when we're ready for it to be fixed. But we have yet to believe and learn that we have to hold on to the hand of the Master. That everything will be all right. You know, so it's not, you know, I'm not going to be before you long because as I was, you know, studying this, and I said, we know about the woman and the issue of her blood and what she went through. Like I said, we heard it so many times, and we just know that she really, really wanted to be healed and of her sickness. And I do believe today that whatever it is that we're going through, we really, really want to be healed on today. Amen? Can I get a witness up there? We want our problems to be fixed. Man, if they're minor, if they're major, we just want our problems to be fixed. We want to be some stress-free people. We don't want to have to deal with issues that's just unnecessary. Or issues that we bring on ourselves. We just don't want to have to deal with these things. But this woman felt that same way. She felt so empty, like she doesn't have a reason to be living, but yet and still she had faith in God that she will be healed one day of her sickness. Amen? Amen. And I will start reading also issues that we may have. You know, it comes a time where the issues be so heavy in our flesh, start to feel pain and despair. And I'm talking about myself as well. You know, where our prayer life starts to diminish, and our fasting, don't even think about fasting, and we're calling on God. It's like, oh, Lord, I know you can fix it, but it's still a little doubt in there that the Lord will fix the problem. But the Lord said, I am with you. I can handle it. Lay your cares up on me. I will fix the problem for you. Know, even though the struggles of life tends to wear you down, and we don't know which way to turn, but how many know that God cares just for you? Amen. He cares just for you. Amen. You know, as I was reading how even though people, we come to church and, you know, because it's a traditional thing, we come to church just to be here, but when we get here, we let the devil sit on our lap, we choose not to clap our hands, we choose not to stand. And you know, sometimes I look around, some people really just be meditating in their seat and crying out to God in their seat. But I do believe that once that you come into the house of God, you have an expectation that once you leave here, you're going to leave that problem right there in your seat. But then again, when you go home, problems tend to meet you at the door again. You say,